National this
Good
morning.
morning, good morning, good morning.
I'm here with Marcus D. We are in the house and we're excited about today's live stream. We're excited about today's live stream. So, what's up? What's going on, man?
Well, I'm excited about talking about this book. People are able to get pre-orders, prophetic parenting. I mean, I've never heard of that concept or those words put together. It's the first time hearing those two words together. Prophetic parenting, chock full of wisdom and chapters and titles and concepts and various different perspectives. So, what caused you to not only write a book called Prophetic Parenting, if you could kind of break down what prophetic parenting means versus regular parenting, and let's just dive into the book and some of the concepts there. But what started it? Uh, why is prophetic parenting different? Just take us on the ride, take us on a mental journey about prophetic parenting, please.
Wow, Marcus. Well, thank you for that. I tell you, well, let's let people know what's going on. It's like, whoa, 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 what's happening here? What's happening here? I'm so excited to share that a book that has been percolating for the last 17 years, actually, and over the last 2 years, I went on and went forward and wrote the book and published it. The book is in the process of being published, and the title is "The Power of Prophetic Parenting." So that's what Marcus is all jacked up about this morning, about this new release, and I am too. I'm extremely excited. So the power of prophetic parenting started, like I said, about 17 years ago. I have already shared time and time again on our broadcast that the last 45 years or so I've served in ministry. And 17 years ago, I hosted a conference. It was a parenting conference and
Wow.
a prophetic parenting conference. And it's rooted in my own experience in raising my own children. So, without giving too much of it away, what I will say is, especially my three older children were raised or born, I would say, during a time where the culture, and this is always every generation has its thing, but for them, the culture was the crack cocaine epidemic, the gang violence epidemic, gang, all of that. And here I was, a single mom raising three sons in LA. And I knew that it was going to take more than a casual approach to parenting for them to become the men that God had a purpose for them to be. And in the book, I go through and disclose just some very clear conversations I believe that God had with me regarding my children and what my responsibility was as their mother to raise them to be the men of God that God purposed them to be. And this is with the backdrop of folks in the very building. We lived in a fourplex. We had the owner's unit, and there were some teenage guys who lived in a couple of the other units behind us. We were situated right off the alley, and my kids were like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And there were drug deals going on throughout the day and throughout the night, right out my kitchen window. When they would go outside and play, they had these drug dealers, these guys were kids, 13, 14, 15 years old. My oldest son just shared something with me last year that I did not know. He told me that one day I sent him to the laundry room to get the laundry, and the guy was in there, had a gun laying on top of the washing machine, and he was counting money and had rocks of cocaine right there on top of the washing machine.
You just
And
learned about that a few days ago.
about Stephen shared that with me. It's been less than a year ago, and
So you
mind you,
basically had some extreme qualifications, experiences. Because I noticed, I mean, and by the way, guys, if you want to get the book, call the number on your screen. You get a book, get a pre-order sale. I would encourage you to get one of the pre-orders. But, you know, some of the chapters in your book, Coach, it talks about parenting with power and then parenting with style. So could you break down what in the world does that mean, parenting with power, and what's the difference of parenting with style. Help us. We only got a few minutes. Tell us something. Come on now. Don't just.
And I want to just like jump out of my seat. There's just so much. But
Power
parenting,
and style. Oh my goodness.
right. So parenting with power, the analogy that everyone I believe can understand is the difference between driving or screwing a screw into a board manually or using a power tool to do it. The efficiency, the speed, the effectiveness of using a power tool versus doing something manually or by hand or figuring it out as you can go. So that chapter focuses on the power that is extracted from biblical principles, uh, uh, insights that are gleaned from scripture, and just a God consciousness and a biblical worldview. And when those things are incorporated and overlaid on your parenting style and you follow the pattern, because one of my other chapters is parenting by the pattern. You follow the pattern that is set in God's word for parenting and you really follow it, it turns into this powerful, dynamic environment where no matter what set of circumstances a family finds themselves in, you will accomplish your goals and the outcomes that you desire with your children.
It sounds like a person needs to get that book. But let's say Steve came in and he's telling you right now, as it happens, I'm 8 years old. There's some rocks on the washer. There's bundles of dollars on the washer. Tell us biblically how you would have approached that situation and show us the power so we can hurry and get that book ordered quick, fast.
So, and then there was another chapter regarding style that you wanted information on.
Yes.
But so at 8 years old, had he come in and said, "Mom, this is what's going on in the laundry room,"
right?
The dynamics within our four walls. Give me a word that's greater than dynamic. It was so dynamic and so overarching and so penetrating that whatever was going on outside of those of that house, I was intentional on making certain that it didn't impact my children or that they weren't curious and saying, "Oh, well, maybe these are the steps that I need to walk in," especially as a single mom. Especially as a single mother and raising sons, they look at other guys oftentimes as being their role model. So the dynamics within the household. And Marcus, let me just give you a good example. When you asked me, what would I have done? The police were all throughout the neighborhood. My boys were seeing this. They were going outside, riding their skateboards, climbing the tree, turning flips, playing basketball, doing all these things. All these other things were transpiring right around them. And I lined them up one day, and I was sharing this with someone the other day. I lined them up. I said, I go to church on Sunday morning. I would start these conversations with them, and they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? We weren't even talking about church. I said, on Sunday morning, I do not go visit anyone in jail. Sunday mornings, I go to church. And you have a choice, a decision to make how you're going to live your life. What decisions you're going to make for your life. If you're going to follow the path of these folks out here where the cops are pulling in and throwing them in handcuffs and they're involved in all this, or you're going to stay on the path that God, through your mom, has laid before you. The choice is yours. But I'm letting you know, I'm not participating in anything outside or other than what God has given me regarding you. But the choice is yours. And Marcus, they were 7, 9 years old. And I'm saying, so you can imagine the looks on their faces. They didn't know half of what I was talking about. But just being that overwhelming personality in their lives, having such conviction regarding the path and the way that they were to go, and how it opposed the culture of the time. I had to be a larger than life character and personality that would have the power to steer them. And by God's grace, that's exactly what happened. Stephen has 2 degrees, his first. And this just, according to the statistics, boys raised in single parent households where there is no father. I challenge anyone to look the data up. Look at the statistics. Statistically, They don't, a lot of them don't even graduate from high school. My oldest son has his first degree is in immunology, microbiology, and genetical molecular science or whatever. And his second, he has an MBA, both from UCLA. My middle son attended um, film school at Marymount University. He's a screenwriter, a director, producer. My youngest son has played basketball professionally overseas. His degree is from USC in economics. And I tell you, none of that happened on accident. None of that
Where
happened
did you
because,
decide to name your youngest one? Can we get that out real quick?
oh,
Stop playing. You playing. Go skip over stuff.
it's so
You gave the first name. Come on now.
Marcus. Oh, see, his name is my youngest son's name is Marcus.
Oh, I did. Okay, okay.
So you all share the same name.
How tall is Marcus? I'm just wondering. I've never met him.
I cannot believe you're doing this live right now.
How tall is Marcus? Stop playing.
He's about 6'6.5".
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you all are about the same height.
I see. So that's parenting with power. Keep your composure, because we got 2 minutes left to talk about style, parenting with style, so people can see why they need to get this book.
I love
Come
this.
on,
I love
Los
this
Angeles next
chapter.
week while you're playing.
I love this chapter, parenting with style, because I go there. I go into behavioral scientists.
Style. Okay.
Behavioral scientists that actually identified certain parenting styles back in the mid to late 1960s. And so I dissect and just go through each of those parenting styles, and then I fold them into how prophetic parenting fits in with each of these styles. So anyone purchasing the book, anyone reading the book, they're getting a well-rounded perspective on parenting. I have so many nuggets in there on how to raise toddlers, and it's just the book is full of resources, information, guidance, tools, techniques, and even strategies for parents, no matter what. And I would say this, Marcus, as our time is winding up, this book is not just for parents. It's for teachers, grandparents, godparents, even anyone who works with children, foster parents, step parents, anyone who works with children, has a heart for children, because they indeed are the next. If you look at they indeed are the future. If you look at that second to the last chapter, what is it?
The second to the last chapter is training wheels. They're just kids. Even dismantling generational curses.
Dismantling generational curses. I have a whole chapter on that. Also, legacy, ready, aim, fire. And we go into how parents can perpetuate a legacy, generational blessing.
So this book sounds like it could even be a curriculum at a school, a church conference, universities. It could be a book in high schools, middle school. I'm imagining that people can, I mean, I know you're going to elaborate with greater depth, ladies and gentlemen, on Friday. You're going to have a tremendous window of time to elaborate on Friday. However, people that are parents and grandparents, so if you got kids that are grown already, and you might even have grandkids that could be grown. Yeah. So now there's great grandkids coming. So no matter who you are, where you're coming from, I'm imagining, if I'm correct, Coach, a person can get this book, or maybe get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 books, and share them with family, share them with your kids that are grown, getting ready to raise their own kids, share them with grandparents who are getting ready to raise maybe great grandkids. So it seems like to me there's something for everybody at every age, why this book could be of value as a gift. It could be of value as a resource for yourself. And the book can even be gotten into schools, churches, and organizations, and be literally a textbook, if I'm right. So am I saying that right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely correct.
We got 20 seconds.
We envision Sunday school departments, yes, women's departments, men's department, all types of organizations. This book would be an amazing resource. We actually have also a campaign going on right now for the month of October only, that as folks purchase the book, if they hit a certain threshold, they have an opportunity to win $1,000. So they could literally win $1,000. I have additional information on that. They can call the number. They can leave a comment below, and I would love to get that information too. But that's just for the month of October.
That sounds excellent. Tune in again, guys. Friday is going to be amazing. I will be. Oh, no, that's next week. I'm looking forward to coming to Los Angeles next week. And so, listen, get the call in, call up Coach, and get your pre-order books and start thinking of people you can give those out as gifts. With that, we'll tune out. It's been a mighty powerful, plum pleasing pleasure to be able to speak and talk about prophetic parenting. Thank you.
Wow. Bye, everyone.